America has the best economy in the world. Is he right? Bring in JCleveland, chief economist at Payview and Regal. Do you think we have the best economy in the world, Jeffrey?
Absolutely. The U.S. economy is holding up very well, Stuart, given all the global uncertainty that we see out there, global slowdown. If you match up the U.S. versus, say, Europe, in the first half of the year, Europe grew at about a 1% rate year on year, and the U.S. economy grew about 2.6% year on year over the first part of 2019. So we're outpacing our European cousins and weathering the global storm quite well.
Why is this?
You know,
I mean, is this because President Trump has cut taxes and lowered the red tape?
I know that's what you want to hear, but the reality is Europe is still mired in the fallout, the aftermath of a crisis which happened 10 years ago. They haven't fundamentally fixed their banking system. I think they're applying the wrong medicine, Stuart, to their economy, the negative interest rates that we're seeing in Europe, and I think that is hampering growth. Meanwhile, in the U.S., we cleaned up quickly after the financial crisis. We moved on, and we're growing. We have a better rate of population growth, better productivity growth. And those two things, Stuart, are really what matters. Now, regulations can affect productivity and innovation and risk-taking and capital formation. So it's not that regulations don't matter. They do matter, so they're definitely part of the equation. But I think it's bigger a story than that.
Okay, look, Jeffrey, you're an economist, so you've heard this theory that when short-term rates are higher than long-term rates, you know, this inversion thing, that's supposed to mean that you're going to a recession. Well, we've got the inversion now. Short-term rates higher than long-term rates. So do you, as an economist, do you think we're headed for recession?
I think the death of the U.S. business cycle, Stuart, has been greatly exaggerated. The trick with the yield curve, yes, interest rates, short-term interest rates are higher than long-term interest rates, but there is often a very long and variable lag between when that happens and when a recession begins. If you recall, last time around, the last business cycle, the yield curve inverted in February of 2006, Stuart. The equity market continued to perform through 2007, peaking in October of 2007, and the business cycle in the U.S. did not end until December of 2007. So if you're watching your money, if you're worried about your portfolio, you should look at the yield curve, yes, but be cautious. It's not a precise measure. There's a long lag between the inversion and the start of the recession. I think, Stuart, we still have more time. U.S. growth, to me, I think we're going to top 2% growth, maybe 2.5% growth this year, which is not a recession. I think I've said that 10 times. Yeah. Not a recession.
Okay, well, look, I'm thinking politically, not just about the market and the money. I'm thinking politically. There's an election in 2020. Do you see a recession before the November 2020 election?
I think nobody can see out further than, say, 6 to 12 months, Stuart. So if anyone is telling you what's going to happen in December of 2020, I would shut that off and ignore them in terms of your portfolio. I think over the next 6 to 12 months, we do not have a recession. The probability is still quite low. What could change that? What would change my mind, Stuart? This morning, it's data. It comes out every Thursday morning. It's the initial claims data. It's a proxy for layoffs. 209,000 layoffs, Stuart, lower than we were a year ago on the layoffs gauge. Watch that gauge carefully. If it starts to creep higher, then I might change my tune. But as long as we still see low layoffs in this country, that tells me a recession is not right around the corner.
Yeah, that is, it's kind of the firing rate, isn't it? The initial jobless claims rate. It's basically how many people got fired, how many people got laid off. That 209,000, that's close to an historic low, isn't it?
It is very close to the 50-year low. It's been low for quite some time. We were actually a little bit higher a year ago. So the fact that we've been going through a long period of time with very low layoffs is a good sign for the economy. And if you want to go further, not only are we seeing low layoffs, we're seeing record high job openings. Yeah. So you have very few layoffs, and you have businesses in this country that still want to add employees, and the main trouble that they tell us that they have is finding high-quality employees. That is a sign of something you see when the economy is still doing quite well, not when we're on the cusp of a downturn.
Ah, there you go. Good stuff. Jeffrey, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you again soon. Thank you.
I'm going to go have a steak, Seward.
Okay.